Excellency Arif Hawas Yugosino, Vice Minister for Foreign Affairs of Indonesia, I see Dr. Dino Pati Jalal, founder of the Foreign Policy Community of Indonesia, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to you all. Somewhere in ASEAN right now, a young coder in Manila is building the next big app. A farmer in the Mekong Delta is using digital tools to increase yields. A teacher in Jakarta is preparing students for jobs that don't yet exist. Across our region, in cities, villages, and communities, people are shaping the future. This is ASEAN's greatest resource, its people. From the Bangkok Declaration of 1967, through the ASEAN Community Vision 2025, and now toward ASEAN 2045, our shared future, one principle, one conviction has remained constant. Our peoples must be the foundation of our cooperation and everything we do. At the outset, I wish to commend the foreign policy community of Indonesia, AFPC, under the able leadership of Dr. Dino Pati Jalal, for convening this valuable conference. It is a privilege to be in the presence of leaders and representatives of civil society from across the region, because your voices, your ideas, your aspirations, your critiques make ASEAN real. This conference is not only timely, it is essential and relevant. We live in a period of profound transition and transformation. Great power rivalry has resurfaced. The global economy faces headwinds, and climate change is reshaping our societies. Yet even amid these uncertainties, ASEAN has endured, and it has endured because of its peoples. Almost 700 million strong, diverse in culture, language, and belief, yet bound by creativity, resilience, and energy. To harness this resource fully is both our greatest opportunity as well as our greatest responsibility. For almost 6 decades, ASEAN has been about keeping and promoting the peace, sustained economic growth, and building shared identity and prosperity. But today, more than ever, it must also be about empowering our citizens to shape their own future dynamically. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, why are our peoples ASEAN's most valuable resource? First, because they are the foundation of everything we do. No matter how ambitious our roadmaps or how lofty our declarations, ASEAN succeeds only if our peoples feel secure, prosper, and see their lives improving. Second, because they are the drivers of innovation. From bustling capitals to rural villages, it is farmers, workers, teachers, entrepreneurs, activists, and especially our youth who fuels ASEAN's dynamism. Third, because they embody ASEAN's diversity, hundreds of ethnicities, belief systems, and traditions, woven into a fabric of unity in diversity. That capacity to thrive together, despite differences, is what makes ASEAN resilient in an uncertain world. In short, our people are both the means and the end of ASEAN's project. ASEAN exists for them and with them. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the heart of ASEAN is its peoples. And to see this more clearly, let us look at ASEAN's 3 community pillars: political security, economic, and social cultural, and ASEAN connectivity as living commitments to improve lives. These are sometimes described in policy language, but let us look at them through the eyes of our peoples. Peace is the most fundamental requirement. Without it, there can be no opportunity, no prosperity, no future. Since 1967, ASEAN has prevented major conflict in our region. This is not a small achievement in a world where geopolitical fault lines are deepening. ASEAN has done so by upholding dialogue, diplomacy, consensus, and nonviolence as guiding principles. Because of ASEAN, generations have grown up without war among member states. The Treaty of Amity and Cooperation in Southeast Asia, TSC, the ASEAN Regional Forum, AOF, the East Asia Summit, EAS. These mechanisms may seem technical, but they safeguard the lived reality of stability that millions depend on. But today, security is more than the absence of conflict. Our peoples face new threats, cyber attacks that endanger businesses and privacy, violent extremism that preys on the vulnerable, trafficking and piracy that undermine safety, and climate-related disasters that displace people and communities. This is why the ASEAN political security community is so important. It expands our definition of security to include disaster resilience, counterterrorism, and cooperation on cyber and maritime safety. It recognizes that the measure of peace is not just stability among states, but safety in the lives of ordinary citizens throughout the region. Peace is not abstract. Peace, a parent sending children to school without fear. Peace is a shopkeeping opening for business knowing the streets are safe. Peace is digital space where young people can innovate without threat. This is what our people expect and deserve from ASEAN. The ASEAN Economic Community. ASEAN today is the third largest trading bloc and the fifth largest economy in the world, and is projected to be the fourth largest by 2030. But growth alone is not enough. The real question is, do our peoples feel it in their daily lives? The AAC was built to create a single market and production base, to open doors for trade and investment. However, economic integration is not about trade, tariffs, or treaties alone. It is about livelihoods. It is about the micro, small, and medium enterprises, MSMEs, that make up 97% of businesses in ASEAN, many of them family-run. Their success translates directly into household prosperity. The AEC, the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, and our digital economy agreements are not ends in themselves. They are tools to ensure that our people, workers, entrepreneurs, teachers, and innovators can access opportunities and thrive. The ASEAN Social Cultural Community. This is where ASEAN's heart beats most visibly and lives in the daily rhythms of our people. When the Filipino band plays in Bangkok, our Thai movie screens in Hanoi, ASEAN lives in culture. When a Cambodian student studies in Singapore or Lao entrepreneur partners with a Malaysian counterpart, ASEAN grows in empathy and solidarity. This is why the ASEAN Social Cultural Community matters. It strengthens civil society, promotes cultural exchange, champions sustainable development, builds bonds of friendship, and bridges the communities across borders within ASEAN. It recognizes that integration is not just about markets and institutions, but about identity, solidarity, and pride in belonging to ASEAN. The social cultural pillar is the human face and the heart of ASEAN. It is where policy meets people and where the motto, one vision, one identity, one community, becomes a reality. Or as in the disaster management sector, it is known as one ASEAN, one response. Connectivity is often spoken of in terms of infrastructure, roads, railroads, ports, and cables. But behind every road is a trader who can now bring her goods to market. Behind every undersea cable is a student accessing online learning. Behind every new airport link is a family reuniting across borders. Connectivity is about people. The Master Plan on ASEAN Connectivity 2025 and its successor are not just technical roadmaps. They are human stories of aspirations and connections. Our peoples are not passive beneficiaries of ASEAN's work. They are active participants, contributors, and partners. From the ASEAN Intergovernmental Commission on Human Rights, AICHA, to the ASEAN Commission on the Promotion, Protection, the Rights of Women and Children, ACWC, to initiatives like the ASEAN Center for Public Health Emergencies and Emerging Diseases, AFPC. These institutions matter because they speak to our people's needs, rights, interests, and priorities. Civil society, too, has been essential in expanding ASEAN's people-centered focus. ASEAN has long supported people-centric platforms, conferences, fora, research networks, youth competitions, and today's conference adds another vibrant space for bottom-up engagement. Our people's voices, from farmers and fish folks to climate activists, academics, and youth, must continue to participate, contribute, and guide us toward ASEAN 2045. As we gather here, we are reminded of a fundamental truth. ASEAN is for the peoples, and ASEAN belongs to the peoples. Our community will thrive only if it is also built up from the ground through active participation in those it serves. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, if ASEAN's peoples are its greatest resource and asset, then its youth are the most dynamic expression of that resource, not liability. 1 in 3 ASEAN citizens is under 35, over 220 million young people. By 2038, ASEAN's youth population will peak, offering a real demographic dividend and strength. But this dividend is not automatic. It depends on whether we invest in education, digital skills, real capacities, and meaningful participation. Youth are already driving change. Across the region, they are building startups, pioneering technologies, running social enterprises, and leading campaigns for climate action for the present and future generations. They are innovators in cities and change makers in rural communities. This is why initiatives such as the ASEAN Work Plan on Youth 2021-2025 and ASEAN Youth Development Index are critical. They give voice to youth aspirations, measure progress, and create platforms for their leadership. Digital literacy is essential, is especially crucial. In a world shaped by artificial intelligence, robotics, and green technologies, our youth must be equipped with future-ready skills with positive and constructive mindsets. If not, the digital divide could become a new line of exclusion. Our youth are not just beneficiaries of development. They are shapers of it. They are not only tomorrow's leaders, they are leaders of today. Our duty is to give them the necessary tools, the essential platforms, the real opportunities, and the reservoir trust to lead boldly and responsibly. We must ask ourselves, what world will today's 15 years old inherit in 2045? When ASEAN turns 78, Will she inherit megacities connected by high-speed train, powered by renewable energy, with thriving green jobs? Or will she inherit a world ravaged by climate change, fractured by rivalry, and defined by inequality? The answer depends entirely on what we do today, with clarity, with courage, and with strong commitment. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, looking ahead, the question is this: how do we ensure that ASEAN's greatest resource, its people, will continue to thrive sustainably? At the 46th ASEAN Summit, our leaders adopted ASEAN 2045, our shared future, and the strategic plans. This is not just another vision statement. It's a long-term roadmap for the next 2 decades, charting a path towards a resilient, innovative, dynamic, and people-centered ASEAN. And let us remember, by 2045, today's youth will be tomorrow's leaders. The students in our classrooms today will be the innovators, policymakers, thought leaders, and change makers of ASEAN tomorrow. ASEAN 2045 was shaped not by governments alone, but through broad consultation with many stakeholders, including civil society, youth groups, business leaders, and academics. This participatory process ensures that the roadmap reflects the aspirations of Southeast Asians at all levels. Its vision is enduring peace and inclusive prosperity. It imagines a Southeast Asia where citizens feel peaceful, secure, skilled, connected, and proud to belong. But let us picture it more vividly. Imagine ASEAN in 2045, children in rural Myanmar receiving world-class education online. Farmers in Lapedia are selling produce through digital marketplace to consumers across the region. Renewable energy powering our cities, with ASEAN a leader in green technologies. And the use of today, the coders, farmers, teachers I spoke of earlier, sitting as the region's leaders, innovators, thought leaders, and change makers. This is not fantasy. It is within reach. It is possible. It is real. But only if we anchor ASEAN's journey in the living experiences, needs, priorities, and dreams of its peoples. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the ASEAN story has always been about its people. In 1967, 5 countries came together with a simple belief that cooperation was better than conflict. Collaboration was better than confrontation. That belief has now united 10 nations, soon 11. It has built a culture of dialogue, habit of consultation, mechanism of cooperation, and the spirit of consensus. But its true achievement is that it has allowed our people to live, to learn, to work, to cooperate, and to dream in peace. Now, as we look ahead, our challenge is not only to preserve what has been built, but to deepen it, to make ASEAN not just a region of governments, but a true community of its peoples. To move from policy dialogue to live reality. So let us remember, if we nurture and invest in our peoples, ASEAN will thrive and be peaceful and prosperous. If we empower our youth, ASEAN will endure and be strong. If we unite our diversity, ASEAN will shine. Because ASEAN's greatest resource, its peoples, are the heart of our shared future. Thank you.